from the membership of Lok Sabha from the date of his conviction, that is 23rd March 2023, in terms of the provisions of Article 1021E of the Constitution of India, read with Section 8 of the Representation of the People Act 1951. Amidst all the uproar over Rahul defamation row, the opposition is also still sticking to the JPC demand into the Adani issue. Holding placards and banners, opposition MPs marched from Parliament to Vijay Chowk today. The protest was led by Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge. He was seen with other opposition leaders and MPs holding a huge banner which read, "Democracy is in danger." Despite the Supreme Court setting up a panel into this issue, the opposition is adamant that they want a JPC probe into it. While marching towards Vijay Chowk from Parliament, several opposition MPs and leaders were detained by the Delhi cops. Let's also take a quick look at these live visuals now coming in of Rahul Gandhi. Remember, he's been put in a bit of a soup as far as his disqualification from the Parliament is concerned. We've also heard for the first time Rahul Gandhi come out and say that he is willing to pay any price. Effectively, the message from the Congress party remains consistent that he is speaking the truth. He's speaking the truth to power, which is the central government, and he'll continue to do so. Earlier today, as I was mentioning, many opposition and Congress MPs were even detained as they were marching against the conviction of Rahul Gandhi, and even before he was disqualified by the Parliament, by the Secretariat. So K.C. Venugopal, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, Manikam Tagore, Imran Pratapgarhi, all among leaders that were detained and taken to a nearby police station. In what can be seen as a rare move, the opposition also is slowly uniting behind the Congress leader. So leaders like Mamata Banerjee, even Arvind Kejriwal, who are usually seen to be maintaining some distance from the Congress as far as the larger opposition umbrella is concerned ahead of the next general elections, have come out in support of Rahul Gandhi today. The Bengal Chief Minister saying that the disqualification is a new low in Indian democracy. Arvind Kejriwal claiming a conspiracy that is being hatched to eliminate non-BJP leaders and parties. The likes of Akhilesh Yadav, Tejashwi Yadav, M.K. Stalin, Uddhav Thackeray have also expectedly come out in support of Rahul Gandhi and called the disqualification political vendetta. Kerala CM Pinarayi Vijayan has come out. Even KCR today has backed Rahul Gandhi or expressed outrage against his disqualification. It's the likes of SP Supremo Mayawati, Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik of the BJD, and Andhra Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, interestingly, who are the only ones who have so far not made a public statement, but maybe that will also change. Here is more on the opposition knocking on the doors of the Supreme Court against the government, as I mentioned. So as many as 14 opposition parties have moved the apex court. They're alleging the misuse of central probe agencies, something they've been saying for quite some time. They say more pointedly that the basic structure of governance is being affected in India. 95% of the cases by agencies today are against opposition leaders alone. The conviction rate is also something that has been lambasted by them, which is between 4 to 5%. This plea is also specifically asking for pre-arrest guidelines and bail guidelines as far as these agencies are concerned. But the big debate that's coming up, even as Rahul Gandhi stands disqualified as a parliamentarian, he'll have maybe some legal provisions he can look at. Can this, more importantly, bring the entire opposition together and become a little bit of a problem for the ruling BJP?
ये देखिए, उनको सत्य बोलने के लिए वो राहुल जी को डिस्क्वालीफाई करने के लिए सारे प्रयास किए हैं।
वो दृश्य कल पूरे देश ने देखा है जब एक माननीय न्यायालय ने उनके कृत्यों के लिए उन्हें सजा सुनाई और कहा कि नहीं, आपका ये वक्तव्य सामान्य संसदीय परंपराओं के विरुद्ध भी है, शिष्टाचार के विरुद्ध भी है और एक सांसद को इस प्रकार के वक्तव्य कभी शोभा नहीं दे सकते हैं।
first up, I also want to go across to Amit Malviya, BJP IT cell head and spokesperson, joining me on the show. Amit, thanks a lot for your time. I'm sure you must have seen the reactions that have come in from the Congress party, but this is generally a sentiment being echoed by many opposition parties today, even those that don't see eye to eye with the Congress, that this is what has happened today with Rahul Gandhi is undermining of democracy and its institutions, the fact that he's been convicted and today disqualified as a parliamentarian.
Is upholding a court's judgment, upholding provision of the Constitution read in conjunction with the Representation of People's Act, is it an act of political vendetta or is it the right thing to do? Is Rahul Gandhi the first legislator to be disqualified? There is a list of such legislators. If I can name a few, starting from Lalu Prasad Yadav to J. Jayalalitha, Mohammad Faisal, Azam Khan, Anil Kumar Saini, Vikram Singh Saini, who incidentally happens to be from the BJP, Pradeep Chaudhary, Kuldeep Singh Sengar, and the list goes on. There are several of these legislators, MPs, MLAs, who have been disqualified because they were convicted by a court of law.
Okay.
Now, there is the 2013 judgment of the Supreme Court that makes it very clear that if a legislator is convicted, his membership stands automatically cancelled. There is nothing like a period in which he can appeal and exhaust all his options. If you recollect, it was Rahul Gandhi who tore up the ordinance brought in by Dr. Manmohan Singh, which actually was meant to undo the judgment of the Supreme Court in the Lily Thomas case. Now, if Rahul Gandhi stood by that judgment, endorsed it, tore up the ordinance, then why does he want to an exception to be made as far as he's concerned?
Okay. Well, the Congress is not quite openly saying that. But my fundamental question to you, Amit, today also is that many believe this could backfire on the BJP, even if you may say that this has nothing to do with you technically. But politically, it may backfire. It could end up galvanizing the Congress support base and the opposition at large ahead of the 2024 election. So how do you read what could happen? Because Rahul Gandhi technically will not be able to compete in the next elections if this verdict stands.
Well, when Lalu Prasad was convicted, he was a sitting member of parliament from Surat. J. Jayalalitha was the chief minister at that point in time. Now, if such heavyweights had to face the fury of law, why should Rahul Gandhi not? And we're not talking about political fallout here. Rahul Gandhi is just a member of parliament who has an abysmal track record when it comes to attending parliaments or being part of parliamentary proceedings. He hasn't asked a question in parliament. He has not moved a bill. He's not participated in a debate. But that's the Congress's problem. The fact of the matter is that there is a law in the country which says that if a legislator is convicted, he will automatically lose his membership. The Supreme Court judgment actually struck off the 3-month appeal period that was there in the law. If that is the law and you have such eminent lawyers in your rank, why did they not sort of brief you? This matter has been going on since 2019. There have been multiple hearings and Rahul Gandhi has appeared for some of them. There have been instances where he was given opportunity by the court to either backtrack his statement, apologize as the defendant in this case wanted him to, but Rahul Gandhi chose none of those options. And the consequences are for him to bear.
I'll ask my question one more time. But the question I'm asking you, of course, is whether this could end up galvanizing the opposition ahead of 2024. The impact that this could have in the run-up, because we're just about a year to go.
Well, I want to ask the opposition, what is it about insulting the entire OBC community that they would want to back Rahul Gandhi? Would a Samajwadi party back Rahul Gandhi on the issue of insult to the OBC community? Because that is what Rahul Gandhi said. He said, Sabhi Modi chor hain. Now, everybody knows that Modis represent the OBC community in the country. In certain states, they are amongst the most backward people. Now, if that is the statement that Rahul Gandhi has made, that is casteist, that casts aspersion on an entire community, is the political spectrum of the opposition willing to stick their neck out and back Rahul Gandhi? Are they willing to say that they are okay with this casteist slur insult that Rahul Gandhi heaped on the entire OBC community? I want to see that.
Okay.
And why should Lalu Prasad be any different from a Rahul Gandhi, or for that matter, Azam Khan or Vikram Singh Saini of the BJP should be treated any differently from Rahul Gandhi? Are they not representatives of the respective constituencies that they were elected from? Do they not represent aspirations of certain class and community? What does Rahul Gandhi represent? He, in fact, lost from Amethi. He had to go to Wayanad to become a member of parliament. And if he's such a tall leader, he would perhaps win that seat again. But as matters stand today, his membership to the Lok Sabha stands cancelled because it is the law of the land.
Okay, I'll leave it at that. Amit Malviya, I do thank you for joining us. Of course, this is something that is being repeated by most BJP leaders, including ministers who've come out today. Let's open this up to the full panel that is joining us. I'm joined by Javed Ansari, senior journalist who's in the studio with me, Shama Mohammed, Congress spokesperson, Professor Manojit Mandal is from the TMC, and Ishkaran Bhandari, lawyer and political analyst, is also joining us. Shazia Almi of the BJP will be with us in a bit. Shama Mohammed, let me come to you first up. This is a natural question that many are asking. This is not the first time an MP has been disqualified under this very provision of a conviction. Then why is there such a hullabaloo over Rahul Gandhi? This is something that has happened to even bigger leaders, quote unquote, in the past.
See, look at the turn of events right now. What you see right now is there was, yesterday it happened, all right? A stay has been given for 30 days. Now, why suddenly disqualification today? I mean, we know the case of what happened to the Lakshadweep member of parliament. Also, when it came to the by-elections, the Supreme Court came and said, what is a hurry? So in the same case, for example, this particular complainant must be first time in the history of India. The complainant, when his case was he goes to the trial court to file the case. Right? It was happening there. Then what happens when there was no movement there? He goes to High Court for a stay of the case. Can you believe that? Normally, who does the stay? It is the defendant, not the complainant. He stays the case. Then Rahul Gandhi spoke on 7th February in Lok Sabha against Adani. Majorly gave out all the points what he had to. Again, the complainant withdraws his stay in the High Court on 16th February. And the case starts on 27th February. And now yesterday was the hearing. So what we see is that this is definitely political vendetta. The speed at which, I have heard of so many hate speeches in this country, especially, let's not forget what happened in Uttarakhand. The genocide of Muslims should have happened in this country. I heard that. In Delhi, we have heard such things. But so there was no hate speech here. There was a speech wherein also the complainant is not the person who it is against. That is also there in a defamation.
Yeah, but
it should be against that. So there are a lot of loopholes in this case.
Fair enough. But Shama, that wasn't my question to you. Obviously, legal arguments will be made in court.
Legal arguments are important in this.
No, we've made those. We've obviously debated that yesterday when the court verdict came out. Today, my fundamental question to you was on his disqualification. We were earlier getting some visuals of some clash happening between Congress and BJP workers, unfortunately, in Raipur. But today, more importantly, we've seen Congress come out on the streets. Of course, you've been mounting, protests, marches, etc. Fair enough. But all of it has happened technically under the rule of law. Otherwise, I am sure the Congress party and its noted lawyers would have managed to get a stay on his conviction, not the sentence, or on his disqualification. That hasn't happened because this is the law. And just recently, Abdullah Azam Khan was suspended too. These are some more visuals of Congress protests. But anyways, go ahead, Shama, then I'll go across to others.
No, what I'm trying to say is that the speed at which they had to disqualify, see, there are laws in our country, but look at the way this case has been handled. I mean, why did this Purnesh Modi go to the High Court, for example, to stay his own case? There are so many things in this. So for us, what we see is this is political vendetta, because when Rahul Gandhi said very clearly, I would like to speak in parliament. Please allow me to speak in parliament to the speaker to explain certain things. They are not allowing it. This is exactly, it reiterates what Rahul Gandhi said.
what has happened to democracy in India. There is death of democracy.
Okay, but that's a separate issue.
Emergency.
Okay.
There is an undeclared emergency in this country, and let me tell you, Rahul Gandhi is not going to back down. Congress party is not going to back down. None of us are going to back down. We have got stronger today to see to it that this will be fought, and we'll see to it this fascist government goes from this country.
Okay, you're saying death of democracy and undeclared emergency. I do point out one more time, and Shazia Elmi of the BJP is joining us. This is ultimately a court order. And, this hasn't happened by way of any government action or an agency action. But Shazia, please respond. Today we are witnessing not just the Congress party, but virtually every opposition party coming out and saying that they can't believe what's happening.
I mean, what is there to believe or not to believe? My colleague Amit Malviya was there, and he mentioned whether it's Abdullah Azam Khan or it's Lalu Prasad Yadav or it's Vikram Singh Saini, and now it's Rahul Gandhi. And Rahul Gandhi better believe this, that if he continues to use words carelessly and offending people, which offend people, and it's not the first time he's out on bail on charges of defamation. One, of course, is a case of National Herald, but if you look at 6 other cases, you will realize this is one of the 6. And very recently, Supreme Court had passed remarks, and he had to apologize unconditionally. So the fact of the matter is that everybody in public life must know that the defamation laws work, and you cannot defame, insult or denigrate and vilify members of any community, OBC and otherwise, which is exactly what's happened.
Okay.
So what is there to believe or not to believe? What prevented them from taking the matter up in the last 24 hours? They could go on Afzal Guru's matter. They were very taken in by Pawan Khera's imminent arrest.
Okay.
But what happened? They didn't think Rahul Gandhi capable enough to be protected by their own lawyers.
What is
I mean, it's quite sad how Congress is using Rahul Gandhi as a scapegoat.
No, Rahul Gandhi has just said that he's willing
In the
to
last
pay any
24
cost.
hours, they could have moved court.
Yeah, I mean, that is a question we've asked the Congress party, but of course they are free to do their legal processes as they feel deemed fit. Javed Ansari, the other question that is being asked of Rahul Gandhi is that famously he tore off the ordinance that was being brought in to protect exactly such parliamentarians who've been sentenced and give them some time. And today, he's one the sword has fallen on his head. But if you had the morality and, you wanted to uphold public propriety to the extent that you tore off your own government's ordinance in public, then why are you crying today? Why is the Congress crying today?
Well, the Congress is crying for the reasons that Shama Mohammed just laid out. The Congress is crying for the reasons that they are protesting the alacrity with which the Lok Sabha Secretariat burnt the midnight oil. It was up till about 12 last night, and then from 8 in the morning to disqualify Mr. Rahul Gandhi within hours of the
within 24 hours.
Within 24 hours.
But it has happened before, Javed Ansari.
No, it hasn't happened in 24 hours. But anyway, that's just quibbling about whether it's 24 hours or 42 hours.
In any case, his disqualification would have been backdated to the date of the conviction.
Yes. So absolutely, the legal recourse now left for them is, in their wisdom, they will follow it. They will probably move another court in Gujarat. They were apparently toying till very late night whether to move to Supreme Court directly or to go through the higher court in Gujarat. I now believe that they appear to have decided that they will first move the courts in Gujarat, failing which, I mean, they will go step by step. They will move the higher court, and if they don't get justice there, they are quite hopeful they will. But in the eventuality that they don't, then they will move to
But will
Supreme
this
Court.
disqualification, given that it has happened on exactly a provision that has been, meted out to other parliamentarians in the past and quite recently this year too, will this get any sympathy for Rahul Gandhi? That's the big question we're asking, because it's almost as if the Congress is making him out to be a martyr today.
Yeah, so that's politics. They will obviously, they're not going to say that he's guilty, just as BJP won't say that any injustice has happened or that any undue haste has been done in this case. This is politics, they will do it. Now the bigger challenge before the Congress party and the opposition is, how do you carry this to the people? How do you message and communicate so that the people can relate to this personally? And whether, look, it's evident, everybody knows, it's clear as daylight that there is no opposition party which on its own alone can take on the BJP. They need to broad base this, they need to bring on board the other opposition parties, and it's easier said than done. I mean, today people have sided with Rahul Gandhi in the sense they've expressed sympathy, but whether this amounts to all of them coming on the same platform, a lot of spade work needs to be done, much of it behind the scenes.
Yes, and what is also happening is that these are live visuals coming in from the AICC headquarters, which we can take full screen, because we can see prominent leaders of the BJP of the Congress party that are meeting right now after Rahul Gandhi's disqualification. These are the visuals. You've got, of course, Congress chief Mr Kharge, Sonia Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi and others. Everybody, all the top names in attendance there. P. Chidambaram, you can see Meera Kumar, Anand Kumar, Rajiv Shukla, and virtually Salman Khurshid and virtually everybody else. So that's the question that let me take to our other opposition leader, party leader, Manojit Mandal. Is this something that can bring even the TMC and Congress together and really bring the opposition leaders under one umbrella, as Congress has been saying? We ultimately have to fight together. Could this be the tipping point, Manojit?
But the fact remains that in country there is no space for dissent, democracy, and there has been an undeclared emergency which has been stated by my leader Mamata Banerjee for the last 3-4 years. I mean, look at how many times you have been calling names when it comes to my leader Abhishek Banerjee, his family, Mamata Banerjee, calling them, chor, dacoits every time. But our police or our legal system will never go after you. The question is of political morality. Forget about the legal issue. I'm not even going into that, whether a criminal defamation, a criminal case can be filed by a third party who is not directly hurt. That's a different issue altogether. No, but the fact remains that in the history of... That's
precisely the case, Manojit, that all Modis were in a way defamed. That's precisely the case.
But he said this in a particular context, in an election speech.
The court has gone into that. Go ahead.
Right? The election speech. And he said, that's what I'm saying, the criminal case filed by a third party. And he must have clarified in the court of law that he did not mean to hurt all the OBCs, right? Yeah, I think he had a lawyer who was fighting the case. And despite that, he has to be convicted of a crime which you are now comparing with the crimes convicted by Lalu Prasad Yadav or committed by Lalu Prasad Yadav or Azam Khan. Yeah, I think it's a distinction, and the
we are not comparing the crimes. No, I'm sorry, Manojit. We are not comparing the crimes. We are not comparing the crimes. But the section applied to all convicted MPs and parliamentarians is the same.
Realize the problem.
No, we are not comparing the crime per se, but the section applied is the same. That's the law.
What I'm saying that is the problem. We do not have any space even in the TV studios. The symptomatic of the kind of democracy that we have in this country. I'm saying that not you. You mean the BJP. You are not the BJP, madam.
You keep saying you. What am I supposed to take?
No, you means I'm not addressing you, madam. I'm addressing the BJP.
Okay.
Am I pitted against you or against the BJP?
No, right? But even
you means the BJP's press conference, and why are you taking it up on yourself, madam? For God's sake, I'm not.
No, but please clarify. When you say you are talking to me.
That's when I say it's your channel. Yes, means people's channel, and there's a way of speaking.
Okay, but go ahead.
Way of speaking.
Go ahead. Please finish your point.
I'm addressing the BJP's press conference, BJP spokesperson Amit Malviya, and the other one is sitting in the panel. They're comparing this with Azam Khan and others. You're not comparing, right? And how can you compare apple and oranges? We have problems with Congress party. We have problems, especially with the Bengal Congress. That's clear. That's absolutely clear. But on this particular issue, it's a principal stand of all the political parties in this country that democracy is in danger, that the voice of the opposition has been strangulated by on the garb of law, and that's amazing. Whereas when you are attacking the opposition leaders, including my leader Mamata Banerjee, Abhishek Banerjee, every other night on TV studios, we do not file cases. We could have filed cases when you call Mamata Banerjee.
I think you're confused, Mr.
We could have filed.
No, Mr. Mandal, I think you're very confused.
Please let
me clear the confusion.
Okay, Shazi, I'll give you time. Let him finish. Let him finish.
A very long time.
Just one second. Let him finish. I'll come to you. Ishkaran hasn't spoken.
Madam, why are you so scared
of words? No, but Manojit, make your point and then finish, please.
Words make poetry.
Manojit, you're repeating yourself.
And you're
not even clear on facts.
Words.
This has nothing
You
to
are
do
not
with.
even allowing us
No,
to
no. This
speak
is
on
this
TV.
has come from the court. It's a
Can
court
you,
order.
Can you speak? Can you speak?
Manojit, I mentioned
You are
a
scared of
BJP.
words.
One
I
second.
mentioned a
scared of
BJP
words.
MLA, a Samajwadi
scared
Party
of
MLA.
words.
No, one second, not like this. One
And
second,
an
not like this.
RJD.
All of you have to
Former
stop.
CM.
One second. Can I just move ahead? Can I just move to Ishkaran Bhandari? No, not like this. Manojit, not like this, please. You're wasting the time that was allotted to you. Ishkaran Bhandari. Manojit, not like this. Please, not like this.
My voice.
No, nobody is muzzling your voice. I'm sorry. Please stop grandstanding. There's a limit to how much grandstanding I will take. Ishkaran Bhandari, there's also a sense emerging when the law works against your opponents, it is a good law. Now suddenly the same provision that worked on so many other parliamentarians is bad, and Rahul Gandhi is somehow a victim. The law is the same for everybody.
First, let's be clear on one aspect of it, because there is a lot of debate today on the speed by which the Lok Sabha has communicated the order to Rahul Gandhi. The disqualification is attracted from when the conviction order is passed. So he already stood disqualified. The Lok Sabha speaker does not have to do any natural justice, hearing, hear a reply, have an oral argument. He is just communicating the order which has already happened. And that's the law of the land. That's not been done for the first time in Azam Khan's case, which went till Supreme Court, which was an order passed in October. And then a by-election was declared immediately thereafter. His seat was declared vacant. The Supreme Court upheld that. All it said is, one day the Sessions Court may have to decide whether a stay of conviction will be granted or not. It wasn't granted and the election is held. So there is a very recent precedent of that happening. I do not know what the Election Commission will do in this case, whether they will immediately declare a bypoll, whatever, and the Congress of course will legally challenge it. But just in October, we have a precedent of this happening immediately. The second aspect now here, which we have to understand is, because it's a very curious case. Normally when a summoning order is issued, the party, ordinary litigant also goes to High Court or Supreme Court to challenge the summoning order. It appears Mr. Rahul Gandhi did not do it. After that, when charge is framed, people either file a revision against the charge or they go to the higher courts. Again, it appears it was not done. So that is very curious in this case, that why higher courts were not approached if they believed they had such a strong case. Any ordinary litigant would do that, including going up till Supreme Court, and that would at the very least have delayed the trial, which is what very often happens in criminal trials. So all these are questions which the Congress legal team has to decide and answer. But as the law stands today, and a law which is in effect not from today or at least 2013, Rahul Gandhi stood disqualified. And unless a stay on conviction comes, the natural consequences of a fresh election will follow.
Okay, we're getting these visuals from the AICC headquarters. There's been a meeting that was being held there, but there's some movement outside the gates. Not sure who's exactly in that car. We'll try and get a reporter from on ground as well. But looks like some more Congress leaders are arriving for the meeting. Not clear just yet who that leader is, but more leaders coming in. Okay, let me just go across to our political panelists one more time. Yes, Shazia, you wanted to come in. This is the growing feeling, whether you can obviously contest. Yes, go ahead.
Yes. So, Shivani, I heard expressions like alacrity was shown and Lok Sabha could have dealt with it better. So, the fact is Lok Sabha had nothing to do with it. Speaker had no role to play. I think the lawyer on the panel, Mr. Ishkaran Bhandari, has clarified it for everybody. So, because this conviction order had to be communicated, and it meant at the same time, almost immediately, Rahul Gandhi's membership tantamounted to disqualification, and that means he ceased to be an MP. So that's one. It has nothing to do with anything else but the conviction notice.
But what about the issue of democracy?
Two, and most importantly, there were other legal recourse. They have run helter and skelter when it came to Pawan Khera. Even I remember Afzal Guru, when the hearing had to happen.
Yeah, Shama, I'll give you an opportunity.
What prevented them? By making Rahul Gandhi a political scapegoat. And the fact of the matter is, Rahul Gandhi has become a repeat offender. This is not the first time. Supreme Court has corrected him.
Sorry,
he made allusions to and made remarks about comparing talking about RSS and talking about...
Shama, one second. Let her finish. I'm coming to you. Shama, let her finish. I'm coming to you.
I have to leave. Supreme Court called
Shama, you'll have to listen to someone else. So there is nothing to do with Lok Sabha or the speaker or the BJP. You must get that in your head.
Okay,
Two and most importantly,
let me come in.
Come from the court. 4 years of following judicial processes.
Is a convicted criminal,
Completely.
gone to jail, convicted.
Completely. That's something else. You can keep on blabbering, my dear friend. It has nothing to do with what we are discussing. No, this has nothing to do with what we are discussing. If you want to speak gibberish, it's up to you. Let's stick to what we are discussing. If you've been found unprepared for this discussion, then that's your problem. That's your problem. You can't blame others for it because you're not prepared to speak on the topic.
Okay, can I just come in now?
And
Please,
ladies,
not like this. Please, not like this.
Question: what has happened to Pragya Thakur?
Okay, but
in the parliament, God say is a desh.
But Shama, that's precisely the point. Shama, can I ask you a question? Not like this. Can I have Shama with me on the screen, please? Can I have Shama? Shama, listen to my question. Shama, listen to my question before you go to all other convictions. The point is exactly that. Just like Congress raises, just like Congress raises the convictions that others have had, similarly, now Rahul Gandhi is a convicted leader. So why is it that his conviction is different and others' conviction is different? That's precisely the question.
This case is flimsy. I explained to you many loopholes in the case. It is not filed by the person who is an alleged act. It is not against any person. It was in a context, first and foremost. And the section 202, it was the speech was in Kolar and then it is Gujarat. And when there is something like that, the magistrate has to do an investigation. The police has to do an investigation. It was not done. So the basis of the case is flimsy. Like I said, it went to High Court. It was the complainant had stayed the case in the High Court. There is so many loopholes in this case.
Fair enough, but those are arguments you'll have to fight in court for.
Narendra Modi is scared of Rahul Gandhi. Get this into your head, all right? Narendra Modi, you BJP spokes anchor. Narendra Modi is scared of Rahul Gandhi, so get it into your head.
Shama, just mind your language and please mind your grace. This is no way to talk to anybody, and I'm not sure you're doing such a great favor for your party as a spokesperson to talk like this. There's a limit to how much you can say this and get away with. This is not the way to behave with anybody. Anyways, I'll go across to Javed Ansari. Javed Ansari, I'm not sure why they lose their temper like this, but in any case, there is a question mark on the fact that you can raise over the conviction itself. But those are all things you have to fight in court. Other political leaders have fought in court for years for that matter. So that's not an argument today against his disqualification.
Look, as I see it, it has to be a two-pronged battle. One, you fight it legally, and two, fight it politically. Fight it politically in the streets, fight it politically through your communication strategy, fight it politically by bringing on board like-minded people, even those who have not been your allies. You have to win friends. Congress party at this moment in time can do with all the help it can gather and all the friends it can. But will it get that help?
That's the question. What do you think?
It's not going to happen automatically. It's difficult, but certainly not impossible.
Not impossible. Yes, Ishkaran, you wanted to come in. Manojit, I'm coming to you next.
Just one short point, because it's been said ad infinitum that the order was completely wrong. It didn't follow the law, didn't follow the procedure. That is why we have superior courts where you challenge the summoning order, not the final order. So why Congress did not do it in this case is a curious case in itself. Normally what happens, a summoning order is issued, you say I do not stay in the jurisdiction of this court, I gave a speech in some other state, you go to High Court, you get a stay. Then you go to Supreme Court, you get a stay. The very fact that these basics were not followed in this case, or if they were followed, they were rejected by the higher courts, I do not know. That shows that it is a normal trial, a normal procedure happened, and arguments are like this on the streets that judiciary is biased or it's a CBI ED case will carry no water.
Okay, Manojit, do you want to respond to that, particularly to this case? The law has taken its own course. You've got legal remedies. There's no point, acting like a victim beyond that.
It's amazing that law has taken the course within a span of 3 years in the criminal defamation. Maybe this would be one of the very few cases, 0.0001% cases of criminal defamation where you have the conviction rate in this country. That's amazing. I can only say one thing by quoting Shakespeare. Words, 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 what do you read, my lord? And there lies the problem in this country. I mean, look at how Hamlet was trying to scare the Polonius. And he was scared of words. Words make poetry, words make novel. And this government scared of words. And there lies the problem in this country.
Okay. Shazia, final comments, please. You feel, it looks like,
Well,
Shazia, at least,
you know,
as far as an issue is concerned, it seems like some issue has, this can be a galvanizing issue for the opposition, if nothing else. Sometimes you need a tipping point, you know, to base your opposition on, and this could well turn out to be that.
Well, let's see whether the opposition would rally around Rahul Gandhi at this point of time. When it comes to the crunch, that is making Rahul Gandhi their main leader, let's see where the loyalty lies, whether it lies to their cause, which is, oh, there is some case of political vendetta, knowing extremely well that this hasn't come from the executive at all, or the legislature, but from a court order, and that they had legal recourse, that they had legal remedies, but they refused to pay heed to them, or they just wanted to make Rahul Gandhi the scapegoat. I think it's being done deliberately, you know, if you ask me, by the congressmen, and secretly they wanted it this way, because maybe they don't want Rahul Gandhi to continue to be their leader, and this seemed to be the best advice they could give at this point of time, leading to his disqualification. The fact of the matter is that judicial processes have been followed, and Rahul Gandhi should know better than denigrate people and communities and groups of society, and learn to be more circumspect in the way he conducts himself.
Well, the bottom line also is that as far as his disqualification is concerned, before a bypoll is announced and before it becomes too late, there are remedies still available for Rahul Gandhi. He can get a stay on his conviction, and then his disqualification can also be taken back before the seat becomes vacant, to the extent that a bypoll has already been called for or has already been held. So there is still time to go as far as this matter is concerned. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. We'll slip into a very short break. Some more updates possibly coming in from the national capital on this development. Stay tuned. News and updates continue in just a bit.
It is a vital condition precedent. It is the most necessary thing. And, you know, it takes some time to draft, to meet your lawyers, to file. This is hardly 24 hours ago this has happened.
Okay.
So they've gone there.
All right, joining us now is one of the top legal eagles of the Congress party, Supreme Court lawyer and Member of Parliament in the Rajya Sabha, Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. You held an elaborate press conference today as well as yesterday. The order by the Lok Sabha Secretariat to disqualify Mr. Gandhi as Member of Parliament, you are questioning the alacrity, the speed with which this order has come. But what the Speaker's office and what the Lok Sabha Secretariat are saying is that this is an automatic disqualification, because after the 2013 Lily Thomas judgment, any Member of Parliament who's convicted for 2 years or more automatically loses his or her membership.
I am not questioning merely the alacrity. I am giving you several facets. The first and the largest facet which I have taken up today and partly yesterday is that it is not a legal issue, it's a political issue. There is, according to us, a systematic emasculation of democratic institutions, democratic spirit, and therefore of democracy itself by this government. As I said, freedom of speech has been imperiled, freedom after speech has been more imperiled by a series of intimidatory tactics, coercive criminal steps. First and foremost, see that larger political perspective. Rahul Gandhi speaks without fear, a very, very great candor. He speaks on economics, politics. He criticizes, he talks of demonetization, GST, and he goes abroad, he comes back, and they say you can't come to Parliament till you apologize on fake notions of fake nationalism, pretended nationalism, artificial created nationalism. He goes into Parliament and speaks on the day the Prime Minister speaks, and he's referred to Privileges Committee. Has it happened in all these decades of parliamentary democracy that parliamentarians who have an additional right of free speech beyond 19(1)(a) are intimidated in this way? See that larger perspective. Okay. He comes out, and for the first time in the history I've never seen, the ruling party says this parliament will not go on unless a prior condition precedent of him apologizing. So I think this has never happened, and this is nothing but another attempt in the chain. Now I want to tell you something interesting about the sequence of events in this proceeding which led to the conviction yesterday. The complaint is of 2019, and Rahul Gandhi goes and appears in person in Surat in June 2021. There is a different magistrate then.
Okay.
The magistrate is changed in 2022. Meanwhile, the complainant has already gone to the High Court and sought a stay of his own complaint, and that is pending from early March 22 all the way to this year, February 23. The complainant is not interested in the complaint. Rahul Gandhi gives a speech, the famous or infamous speech, on 7th of February, a fiery speech criticizing the conduct of this government. 7th of February 23, and that complainant suddenly lands up in the High Court and says, I want to withdraw my own stay against my own complaint, I want the trial to start immediately. On 16th February, 9 days after 7th February, the stay from the High Court is withdrawn by that complainant, and the matter is resumed on 27th February, and lo and behold, judgment comes on 23rd March. So all of it happens in less than about a month and a half after that speech. Before that, it's being lying quiet at the complainant's instance for 1 year.
No,
the matter Rahul Gandhi speaks about is in Kolar, Karnataka. The magistrate is obliged to have an inquiry under a section called 202 because he is in Surat. He has to have a territorial inquiry. He doesn't do it. The argument is taken, noted. He doesn't do it.
No, so Dr. Singhvi, the BJP is just holding a press conference. In fact, we were on it just now, where they are saying that this is attack against an entire community, that you're attacking the OBC Samaj, you're attacking the Modi Samaj. Politically speaking, how does the Congress party and how do you respond to that? Because it's not just one individual who Rahul Gandhi has allegedly insulted, but the entire community, a backward caste community.
He named 3 persons in that objectionable statement, which is the subject matter of defamation. None of those 3 people are complainants.
Okay.
Different people with the same surname are set up in Bihar, Ranchi and Surat to file complaints. He did not say that everybody with that surname is a thief. He said that the names I am taking, because the scams I am mentioning, comprise thieves. He said something different. These are set up complaints in a bizarre sense. And complainants are set up. The complainant is happy and sleeping and getting a stay of his own complaint, and suddenly he wakes up and fast tracks it. And no inquiry is done about territorial jurisdiction. This is an absolutely amazing, unprecedented conviction. It has no legs to stand on, and we are confident we'll get a stay of conviction.
So what is your next step going to be legally? Are you going to move the Sessions Court asking for a stay on conviction? Are you going to move the Supreme Court? What is your next legal step?
Absolutely. Stay of conviction is a vital condition precedent. It is the most necessary thing. And, it takes some time to draft, to meet your lawyers, to file. This is hardly 24 hours ago this has happened.
Okay.
So they've gone there.
All right, joining us now is one of the top legals of the Congress party, Supreme Court lawyer and Member of Parliament in the Rajya Sabha, Dr. Manu Singhvi. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. You held an elaborate press conference today as well as yesterday. The order by the Lok Sabha Secretariat to disqualify Mr. Gandhi as Member of Parliament. You are questioning the alacrity, the speed with which this order has come. But what the Speaker's office and what the Lok Sabha Secretariat are saying is that this is an automatic disqualification because after the 2013 Lily Thomas judgment, any Member of Parliament who's convicted for 2 years or more automatically loses his or her membership.
I am not questioning merely the alacrity. I am giving you several facets.
Thanks a lot for staying with us. We'll take you across to AICC headquarters, the Congress headquarters in the national capital, where there's a meeting of the bigwigs going on. There's Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress chief, and Sonia Gandhi, former chief, all attending this meeting. There was a similar meeting that Rahul Gandhi was also part of that was held earlier. That was before his disqualification actually became public, or that notification came. In this meeting, we don't really see Rahul Gandhi, but other top leaders are there, including his sister Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. My colleague Pallavi Ghosh is maintaining a close watch on this meeting. So, Pallavi, what is this meeting really all about? What is it that the Congress party wants to deliberate?
Well, first of all, it's called the steering committee meeting, which is the core group really of the Congress party, and it's very borne out by the fact that you have the president, the former president as a UPA chairperson, Sonia Gandhi, and of course all the state in charges, PCC chief ministers like Ashok Gehlot, and some of course joining it virtually, and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra very much a part of this meeting. Rahul Gandhi not yet a part of this meeting, but essentially what this meeting has to do is to chalk out not just a legal strategy, because something that is being decided aside, but more importantly is the political strategy. Now, what has happened since morning is that the BJP has pushed this narrative that the entire comment of Rahul Gandhi against Modi was actually against the Modi community, which belongs to the OBC. So the Congress party is elitist, it is entitled, and it also against the OBC. The Congress now has to look at how to effectively corner it and also to effectively counter it. It also doesn't want to come across as taking on the judiciary, which is why the attacks will not be so much on the verdict per se, but on the BJP accusing it of hurriedly going for a disqualification of Rahul Gandhi when he really had 30 days of appeal. Of course, the Congress is not going to listen to the counter argument and the logic that if you go by the law, he is actually immediately disqualified. So he really didn't have that kind of time. So I think this is exactly what the meeting is going to be discussing, how to take those protests across, how to make it a political issue in their favor. And I think the cue has really been given by Rahul Gandhi's first reaction when he said that I'm ready to give up anything for the sake of truth. That, I think, is going to be the slogan or pitch of the Congress party.
Yes, he said that he's willing to pay any cost as far as speaking the truth is concerned. But Pallavi, curiously, I wanted to ask you about the legal strategy. Now, a lot of people are wondering, why is it that the Congress party, for example, did not show the same kind of alacrity that they showed for recently the Pawan Khera imminent arrest issue? And why is it that they're still deliberating on what they want to do legally? Why have they not even tried to get a stay on the conviction so far?
Well, I mean, the BJP certainly has made it an issue. Anurag Thakur, in fact, very much took a dig at the Congress party, wondering why is it that there's a conspiracy, to use his words, against Rahul Gandhi. But as much I can tell you from the sequence of events which I came to know of at that morning meeting in which Rahul Gandhi was very much present there at Sonia Gandhi's office inside Parliament, it certainly seems like a botched up reaction. What my sources told me is that there were a couple of MPs who actually suggested that we should preempt any disqualification attempt and write a letter to the president, because she has the power to put a hold on disqualification. Couple of other MPs, some of who have the legal experience, so to say, actually said that there's nothing to worry about. He's got 30 days of appeal, so we have enough time. It did come as a surprise to the Congress party when that disqualification notification was issued from the Speaker's office, and after that it has been complete mayhem. Certainly this question is being asked that yesterday when the court verdict came in, Rahul Gandhi was very much in Surat. He had a team of lawyers with him. Why is it that they immediately did not approach the Sessions Court or the High Court, as the case may be and is required? Even now the party is not divulging any details of the legal strategy, but clearly they are left with no option but to take the legal course ASAP to at least try and have some kind of a stay on the conviction, so that his disqualification can also be stayed.
Yes, absolutely. The disqualification is not really permanent as it stands. If there is a stay soon enough, and there is quite some time for that, then his disqualification also can be nullified. And also, I want to understand from you, Pallavi, politically speaking, obviously this meeting is going to be talking about how to take this to the public. What about other parties? Because we've seen virtually everyone, even parties that generally don't want to be seen with the Congress party ahead of the general elections, the likes of Mamata Banerjee, KCR, Arvind Kejriwal, have also come out in support. So is the Congress feeling that this could be a galvanizing moment for the opposition at large?
Well, the Congress certainly hopes it's a galvanizing moment. In fact, yesterday when the conviction came in, I think it was only the Aam Aadmi Party and DMK, of course, which went to the airport to receive Rahul Gandhi, who openly supported. But not many opposition parties would wade into this whole legal procedure in defense of Rahul Gandhi. But I think if there's any glimmer of hope, any silver lining in those dark clouds hovering over the Congress office, it's the fact that even those who have stayed away studiously from the Congress party through this entire session, like the Trinamool Congress, two have actually jumped into his defense. Now, how much is the Congress going to be able to use this opportunity to make it a larger opposition unity thing? That remains to be seen. But by and large, it's going to be, I think, a Congress-centric battle, a battle for Rahul Gandhi. I think the Trinamool Congress also understands that on some issues, you need to be showing and standing up to the BJP and to the central government and support the Congress party on this. But I don't know how much of it, and I'm not so confident that how much of it can it be a long-term support for the Congress party coming in from all opposition parties, including, of course, the Trinamool Congress.
Okay, Pallavi, just stay with us. We're getting some updates. As I was mentioning earlier, there are some pan-India protests, some peaceful, but some possibly descending into some chaos. We'll get you some updates from across the country, but also in the meantime, listen in to what Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Congress leader, senior lawyer, had to say versus what Sushil Kumar Modi of the BJP had to say on Rahul's disqualification.
हमें पूरा विश्वास और आश्वासन है कि ऐसी चीज़ जो कानून में गलत है, हम आश्वस्त हैं कि उसका सही रूप से अवलोकन किया जाएगा बड़ी अपील वाली अदालतों द्वारा और हमें कन्विक्शन का स्टे जल्द से जल्द मिलेगा।
देश के अंदर कम से कम 1 दर्जन राज्यों में इस प्रकार के मुकदमे दर्ज हैं, तो आप बोलेंगे और माफ़ी नहीं मांगेंगे तो आपको तो वो भुगतना पड़ेगा। तो इसलिए जो भी कुछ हुआ ये कोई तो आश्चर्य की बात नहीं है। कोर्ट के कल फैसला आने के बाद उनकी मेमोरी जाना ये तो सुनिश्चित था, ये अवश्यंभावित था, इसलिए ये कोई मेरे लिए आश्चर्य की बात नहीं।
We're also getting some updates coming in from Bhopal now. Congress workers tried to stop Southern Express at the railway station in Bhopal to protest against the disqualification of Rahul Gandhi from Lok Sabha. Those are the visuals coming in. Earlier, of course, in the national capital and many other states, especially in Kerala, where Rahul Gandhi was the MP from, there have been some marches held by the Congress party. Manoj Sharma, my colleague, is joining us over the phone line. Manoj, can you tell us more of what happened there in Bhopal?
In fact, the police, they are in the process of filing case against 15 Congress workers. They were headed by Madhya Pradesh Youth Congress Chief Vikrant Bhuria, and they protested at Rani Kamalapati railway station in Bhopal. It was at around 5 p.m. this evening, and they were protesting against this disqualification of Rahul Gandhi from Lok Sabha after his conviction. And now, in fact, police, they are filing case of trespassing and other case, section of the IPC. So there were 15 Youth Congress workers and Southern Express, which was heading towards Delhi, and in fact they protested in front of that Southern Express, and the train was halting at Rani Kamalapati railway station. Though the train was not stopped, it was delayed just 5 or 10 minutes, and after that these Congress workers left the place, and now police are in the process of filing case with all these 15 Congress workers.
Okay, Manoj Sharma, thanks a lot for bringing us that update. I go back across to my colleague Pallavi, who's keeping a watch at the AICC headquarters where the Congress bigwigs are meeting for a steering committee meeting. Pallavi, Rahul Gandhi came out short while ago with his first statement. Tell us more of what all he said and the message that he's trying to send across.
Well, the message is very clear, and this is exactly what we are talking about, and I think it sets the election tone really for 2024 elections and also the upcoming state elections, and that is, it is a fight for truth. It's a fight of questioning the people who are in power, and therefore for that, if I have to give up anything, I'm ready to do so. Right behind me, you can see that's where the steering committee meeting is taking place, and we have all the top leaders of the Congress party, and Rahul Gandhi, of course, not a part of this meeting. Clearly, it's the strategy around his disqualification, which is also being discussed, and I think we should get a word in a short while from now that what is it that they have planned. But if I can talk about stepping back into the Congress's history, I would see this as a grand renunciation part 2, at least that's what the Congress would want to make it at. 2004, I remember when Sonia Gandhi had not agreed to become the Prime Minister on the grounds that, post was not important for the larger sake of the opposition and opposition unity. I'm going to give up that top post. What is more important is coming to power and questioning the power. Today, Rahul Gandhi is also going to be making that pitch, not clinging on to his official accommodation. That's going to be one pitch. JPC questioning on the Adani issue, and I'll keep on questioning, is going to be his pitch. If you look at his tweets from yesterday, he's quoting Mahatma Gandhi, he's talking about truth, he's talking about keeping his fight going. So fighter Rahul Gandhi, the ones who is ready to renounce, that is that act which I think is going to be pitched forward by the Congress for Rahul Gandhi and by Rahul Gandhi for himself.
You know, Pallavi, you just teased my next question. I was wondering whether I should ask you. So I'll ask you. Do you think a disqualified Rahul Gandhi works better for the Congress party, and this could well be something the Congress could consider?
Well, I mean, Congress leaders certainly wouldn't want me to say so or you to even agree with me on this. But sometimes not being in power, sometimes bad, however it may sound, and imprisoned or prison or, getting arrested. If you look at political history, this has often worked for our netas. You know, the bouncing back of Indira Gandhi is an example which is often thrown up. She lost. She was maligned on the 1977 emergency, and why not? Justifiably so. And also the fact that the Allahabad High Court judgment went against her and she had to step down. She used that as a point to bounce back, whip up a sympathy. Those were, of course, different days. It was not so much of a multi-party system. But Congress party today wants to take a leaf out of Indira Gandhi's politics, and to a very great extent, Rahul Gandhi wants to take it out of his mother's book also. Because I still remember in 2013, she had quit on the Office of Profit issue.
Yes.
And, she was not asked to quit immediately, but she sensed that she would have to quit and would be disqualified, which is when she went back to Raebareli, sought a re-election, whipped up a sympathy, and she bounced back with a huge majority. That's exactly what Rahul Gandhi has tried to do for himself.
Okay. Whether that will work for the Congress party or not, Pallavi, remains to be seen. As you very rightly said, times have changed, certainly from the times of Indira Gandhi to right now. Today, the Congress is not the pole of Indian polity. Earlier, it used to be. So, just before I let you go, Pallavi, very quickly, how long do you expect this meeting to continue? And are we expecting some sort of a resolution or some sort of a statement to come out, something concrete?
Absolutely. I think the meeting should be lasting another half an hour or so. It's been almost an hour since that meeting has taken place, and all of them are going to be given a chance to speak. It's interesting to see what Priyanka Gandhi Vadra or Sonia Gandhi would have to say inside the meeting. We do expect some kind of a statement to be issued where we would be told what is the plan ahead, what is it that they want to do, and how do they want to take this disqualification of Rahul Gandhi ahead, politically speaking.
All right. Pallavi, I'll leave it at that. I do thank you for joining us for those live updates. There's a lot of protests being mounted by Congress on the streets as well, as you can see. We'll see what the days ahead have in store. Time for me to take your leave. News Update Center is up on the other side.
राइजिंग इंडिया का मेरे लिए मतलब है देश के 125 करोड़ लोगों के स्वाभिमान का राइज होना, देश के आत्मगौरव का राइज होना। आज पूरा विश्व भारत के इस उदय को, राइजिंग इंडिया को मान दे रहा है, सम्मान